Okay, welcome to Barefaced and Becoming. I am your host, Stephanie, and I've been sitting with the idea of starting a podcast for a while. And I was kind of just waiting for more followers, the perfect opportunity, you name it. And I just decided to pull the trigger. It's something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. So, welcome, Barefaced and Becoming. I am happy to have you here. In this episode, I'm going to share with you why I'm starting this podcast, what it's going to be about, and a little bit about my story. I am very uncomfortable right now. I don't know why. When I first got this mic, I could not put it down. It's something about knowing that this is my first episode and that anyone can listen to it. And something about the long form is very, very different because, social media, like you have to have the first 2 seconds of the video super addicting. And if it's not, they're going to scroll. So something about the fact that I could just sit here and talk for 30 minutes kind of freaks me out. Like, I didn't think it would be a big deal until I just sat down and I'm like, holy moly, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes is a while. So here we are. I'm just going to be honest about how I'm feeling because I think it's going to make me feel a little bit better. I have some notes here that will help me along this episode, but I really want to speak from the heart. So this is Barefaced and Becoming. Welcome. So I'm an esthetician, a holistic nutritionist, a yoga instructor, and a sound healer. I know it's a mouthful. I'm going to talk to you about my journey, who I am, and just my story, why I'm starting this podcast, and where the name came from. So Barefaced and Becoming, as I said, I'm an esthetician. So barefaced is kind of just hinting to that, as well as vulnerability, allowing me to kind of tie in the esthetician there too. So we'll be talking a lot of beauty and wellness. And then becoming is just the transformation of me. I think that becoming isn't about having it all figured out. I think it's about just being honest along the way. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Hopefully someone feels less alone. My purpose in this podcast is to entertain, to have someone feel less alone. And the reason why I started this podcast was actually I've done social media for a while now, honestly. I started, I would say in let's say like 2018, but I've never been super consistent. But I got really, really comfortable in front of the camera. I got really comfortable editing. I did YouTube for a little while. I've done TikTok, I've done Instagram. I just have the difficulty of being very consistent. You can't do anything on social media unless you're being very consistent. And I have obviously other jobs. This is not my full time. So it's just been something that it's seesawed with. And I also don't like the fact that social media is so addicting. So I have to make my content to a consumer, it has to be in the first 5 seconds really interesting. And there's a part of me that like doesn't want to contribute to that. I have, as we all do, my own seesaw feelings with social media. And I pride myself on, I want to make quality stuff. And if I'm producing and producing and producing as much as I want to or need to, it won't be up to my standards. So, but I had a really bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Like imposter syndrome starting this podcast because I only have, not that it matters, it literally doesn't matter, this whole follower thing. I only have 1,400 followers. So I'm like, okay, I've been doing social media for as long as I can remember, and I don't have success with it. Why the heck would I start a podcast? That's very silly, and people are gonna think I'm crazy, and everyone's gonna point and laugh at me, is pretty much what I'm thinking. Let me explain to you. I feel that if I'm starting a podcast, first of all, you come to a podcast ready to sit and listen. So I don't have to make it super addicting in the first 5 seconds. I like the long form. I like that I can be vulnerable and all of that, but also I can clip this all up and post it throughout my platforms, and this can be my main thing. And so here we are. I'm starting a podcast. The other struggle I had with this was my coworker, which we'll get into this story in a second. My coworker Ariel, hi Ariel, I love you. She's a professional dancer, and we wanted to start this podcast together. And we did the layout and everything, but as a professional dancer, she obviously gets booked last minute, goes on tour, things like that. But I think I realized that a huge part of what was really holding me back was thinking that I had to do it with her. because she's so cool. It would just, it would be her husband also is a producer, so he could do the music or he could help us like know how to record, like, oh my God, like, so I just kept putting it off and putting it off, and now I'm not, and I'm so proud of myself. She'll definitely be, I think, guest of honor. She has to be first guest, just out of respect. I love that girl. So those were my struggles with starting the podcast, but we're here, and I just got goosebumps for some reason. I have such a good feeling about this. I didn't realize how difficult it would be to, like I said, be in front of the camera and stuff, but I'm sure this will get more and more natural every episode I do. So thank you for coming along with me. I'm so happy that you're here listening to me, and I'll go into my story about who I am, how I ended up here. So as I said, I've like done social media since like 2018 when I went to college. I did, if you guys can remember Monet, I got bullied for doing that, but I loved it. People would make fun of me. People still make fun of me for doing that. Actually, only my best friends make fun of me. Thanks, Lexi. But like, whatever. They think it's cute, whatever. They're not like actually making fun of me. But yeah, like, I don't know. People would just be like, roll their eyes or like, oh, that's a pyramid scheme, which it's not. It's the same thing as like doTERRA. A lot of people do. It's the same idea. But anyways, I did that, and it really helped me get comfortable in front of a camera and putting myself out there. So I'm forever grateful. That was my first experience of like having meetings and sitting down with girls and like having that like support with girls. And I really liked that. That's what kind of, yeah, just got me to get outside of myself. And then in 2020, obviously, so much change that year. For me, my quarantine looked like everybody moved out. I was in college living with three roommates. They all left, and it was just me and my boyfriend. And that was when my journey began of just self-love. I don't know, I started doing yoga a lot. I started reading more, journaling a lot. Yeah, I just remember I would do yoga every single day. Little did I know I would be an instructor. Never in a million years did I think that I would be a yoga instructor, but here we are. So COVID hits, we all lose our job. I was in Orlando, like I'm from Miami. I moved to Orlando with my brother to go to college together. When COVID hit and we all lost our job, we all moved back home. Luckily for me, I was finishing my AA. I ended up graduating online. I was someone that I always had a huge passion for just like beauty, I guess you could say. Like I loved hair. I would do people's makeup for like homecoming. In college, I would do all my boyfriend's eyebrows, all my boyfriend's friends' eyebrows. I didn't have multiple boyfriends. Yeah, I just always loved it. But when I found out in high school, when I was going to college, when I found out that you couldn't like major in something like that, I was clueless about college, clearly. I was like, oh, no, I can't do that then. Like, I need to go to college. Like, everybody has to go to college. Obviously not. I mean, I'm not discouraging. If you need to go to college, you need to go to college. I'm just saying there are some careers that you don't need, and I just felt like I had to. Like, there was no other choice. So I did it. And then when we lost our jobs, moved back home, I was getting unemployment money. And I was like, I finished my AA. I have something to show for it. Mind you, this whole time, I would get financial aid sometimes, but me and my parents, like when there was payments due, like I think for the first year we were splitting it and then whatever. So, I was investing my money. I wanted something to show for it. My parents were investing, I did it. I was like, okay, I have something to show for it. Let me do esthetician school. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back to college and finish my bachelor's. But let me explore this. And so I was getting unemployment money and I found a school right by me. And my parents were like, okay, we're going to help you with this. But like after this, like you're on your own. So I'm like, okay, like I need to put all my effort into this because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I go to school. As I'm in school, I meet Ariel. And I remember the first time I saw her on the camera, and she's like, I'm a professional dancer. I'm like, oh my God, this girl's so cool. Like, I want to be her friend. And then we met in person and we hit it off so well. And we just, from the beginning, we've just been super close. She was graduating, or she was like about to graduate when I was starting. She graduates. She starts her job in Miami, and she asked me, because since she's a dancer, she's always going on tour or like books a show last minute. So where she was working, they needed another person. So she asks me, hey, I think you would really like this. I'm like, girl, I haven't even finished school yet. Like, I don't know. Mind you, I've been unemployed at this point for like a year. So I'm in no rush to get back to work. And then I remember I graduate and I hit her up. And then I set a meeting to go in. And I remember I was about to leave the meeting. I was dressed, fully dressed in my car, about to leave. I put the address in the GPS. And it's one of those moments that you think about, you think back on, and you're like, that decision would have changed my whole life. It's so crazy to think about. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, this is so far. Because I was living in Plantation, if you're from Florida, and Miami Beach. Like, girl, that's 40 minutes, no traffic. I'm like, Mom, like, this is crazy. And she's like, you already set the meeting. Like, just go and see how it is. Like, you don't have to come, you don't have to say yes if they give you the job, but just go. I'm like, okay. So I go, get the job there. I ended up being there for like 4 or 5 years. And as I'm there, I was a sponge. I was learning everything I possibly could. The girls I worked with were amazing. They would teach me everything. I wanted to understand the outside from the inside. So my whole brand is kind of about internal wellness for external radiance. And that was something that I really wanted to dive deeper on. I had extra time that I was like, I could also take clients for nutrition. So I'm a holistic nutritionist. Holistic nutrition is about the whole entirety of what you consume. So it's not just food, but it's also what you watch, the conversations you have, what you're reading, everything. I did my holistic nutrition, let's say 2 or 3 years ago now. I did take some clients too. And then most recently, every 2 years, so it has to be 2 years, then I think. Every 2 years for holistic nutrition to keep my qualification open and active, I have to do a continued education. And it just so happened that becoming a yoga instructor would qualify me to keep my certification open. So I was like, all right, let's kill two birds with one stone. Add something else on to the holistic nutrition, mind, body, soul. Movement is such medicine and such a part of overall wellness. I originally wanted to do Pilates, and I think I probably will, but just the alignment of this specific opportunity, it was just irresistible. And I ended up doing it with my best friend, even better. And it was amazing. And I met amazing people, and I'm so grateful for it. And sound healing was kind of just a part of that for me. It was always something that, I would see at yoga or Pilates places. And it was something that I always like felt really drawn to even before I had heard it, which is, I was talking to my best friend about this the other day. Like, why, like, when was the first time I heard it? I think I had it in my Etsy cart before I ever experienced it, which is so interesting. I actually just had my first sound bath, me doing the sound bath, facilitating last Wednesday. Today's Monday. And it was great. It was sold out. I loved it. It was so fun to do, just like relax people and allow them to be peaceful and just be in a meditative state. I want to get a flute too. I think it would sound so sick, like an Indian flute. Right now I have the bowls. I do like the little rain drum. It's so fun. So that's a little bit about my story. And so now I am working at a medical place. I'm working at like a wellness, beauty, I wouldn't even call it a spa. Like it's longevity. Literally couldn't come up with. I'm like, do I say where I work? Is that like, am I supposed to be that personable? I work at Bodywell on Miami Beach, the best place, the best people. I go to work some days and I'm like, how did I end up here? It's so crazy to me. So I'll actually tell that story. So the place that me and Ariel got a job at together, we were working there together for like 5 years, attached at the hip, like where I'm going, you're going. So that place ended up closing down because they wanted to raise our rent and whatever, all these complications that I'm not, legality things that I'm not getting into. So I went to a place down the street in Miami Beach, and we were renting out a room, and it happens to turn out that the person next door that was renting out the room next door are my now bosses. And when they showed the space and just explained the concept to me, I'm like, oh my God, I love these people. This is exactly where I'm meant to be. I ended up working at Bodywell on the first day that they opened. I don't know how it happened. I was their first person. It's been such a pleasure being able to see how we grow and all of these things. It's just amazing. We have a huge courtyard. And so I did a yoga event with sound healing at my job. I'm like, in what world do my dreams become intertwined like this? Like, you think, okay, esthetician and a yoga instructor, those are very different paths. Like, at least that's what I tell myself. Like, the negative self-talk, like, these don't go together, but they do, and they did, and it was beautiful and so fun. Like, it didn't feel like work at all. So yeah, now I'm doing medical esthetician at Bodywell. I'm doing some yoga at hotels here on the beach, as well as sound healing at a studio once a week. And now my podcast, which I am so over the moon about. Another thing I wanted to explain was this blue butterfly. I've been seeing blue butterflies like crazy this year, like nobody's business. They've just been popping up everywhere. And I've just felt so attracted to it. I just feel this sense of like belonging when I see it, almost like my angels are watching over me, right? And I haven't looked up the meaning of it. If you haven't seen the podcast cover, is a blue butterfly. That's why I'm talking about blue butterflies right now. If you're like, what the hell? Like, why are we talking about butterflies right now? But I haven't looked it up. I've had a, intuitive feeling that, okay, this is transformative, and, butterflies in of themselves are becoming, that's the whole idea. Turn into a butterfly from a caterpillar. We all know this. So I talked to Chat today, as we all do. The meaning of a blue butterfly is transformation and trust. Butterfly means transformation, rebirth, and becoming. It used the word becoming. I didn't even put that there. And then blue is trusting the process when you don't fully see where you're going yet. The color blue also connects to self-expression, speaking your truth, authentic communication, which is like the whole freaking idea of this podcast. And then it says, seeing blue butterflies means being called to share your voice, speak honestly, tell your story, and be vulnerable. I'm sorry, did I not just explain that was the meaning of this podcast? It's so crazy. So also, I forgot to explain with this podcast, this is going to be a solo podcast for the most part. The only guests that I will have on are going to be people that are in my life. I do be knowing some interesting people. And I just feel like our conversations are just so real and I think valuable. Yeah, I would love to have Ariel on. She is a esthetician as well with me, like I said, and a professional dancer. She doesn't like to talk about who she dances for because she's very humble queen, but I'm gonna do it for her. She dances for Osuna. She did the halftime show with Shakira. She's just the coolest person and like literally like the most down-to-earth person, and I'm so grateful. It's so cool to meet friends as an adult and like hit it off so well. I went to this girl's wedding. Like, what? Like, I don't know, it's just so cool. And I have a group of best friends that we've been best friends for like 10 years. Yeah, I want to have my doctor on and do a podcast with him. So there's just a lot of opportunity. I think the first 4 episodes are going to be just you and me. I want to get comfortable with editing, being in front of the camera. I feel like I've calmed down a lot now. I literally started recording this probably like 7 or 8 times. So I'm glad we made it in. We are at, let's see, 25 minutes. I feel like that's good. Obviously, I have to edit it. 20-30 minutes I feel like is good just to get a little snippet of what you're getting yourself into. My inspo for this podcast is Anything Goes by Emma Chamberlain. That's like the kind of vibe I'm going for, just like very relaxed, like come as I am. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else in my notes that I wanted to share with you guys. I think it's just mostly like cheesy stuff that Chat was helping me with. Okay, ready? This is my cheesy stuff. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. So this is Barefaced and Becoming, as I show up imperfect, unready, and figuring it out as I go. Okay, my podcast is focused on self-care, vulnerability, wellness, growth, and honest conversations. No pressure to have it all together. This is for the messy parts, meaningful, and everything in between. So if you're in a season of becoming, you're in the right place. So I don't really want to do also like intros and outros because I'm sorry, it sounds too forced and like I don't want to have to memorize something. I want to just be here with you talking. Oh no. I just realized that I was recording this on my camera and it stopped recording in the middle of me doing this. So there's that. Sorry. Okay. Like we said, becoming isn't about having it all figured out. So I think that's really all I had to share with you guys. I'm really sad about my camera, but I feel good about this episode. I will be posting everything on YouTube, see how much footage that got. I think that's about it for this episode. If you guys want to follow me on socials, my Instagram is Stephanie with a PH and an IE underscore Manji. That's how you say it. By the way, I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican, but I've lived here all my life and I don't speak great Spanish. But in Spanish and Espanol is monje, but in English it's Manji. Okay. And my work page is sm.complete. So if you want to stalk me, you can go ahead. All the links to like all my other platforms will be on there. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you in the next episode.